Hello and welcome to the Just for Gamers video game podcast. Episode 61, heavy on the bass. In this episode, we haven't spoken for a week. 8 days. JfG Ash once again correctly predicts the future. JfG Alex gets dive bombed by Angry Birds. Ubisoft feature throughout the podcast for good and bad. And finally, as I record the intro a day later, we now have Overwatch. Yay!
Hello and welcome to the JfG podcast. This is episode 61. My name is Alex and I'm joined as ever by my very good friend Ash. Hey buddy, how are you, person I haven't spoken to since literally the last time we recorded a podcast?
I know, it's literally been like a whole week, actually 8 days, because last week it was a Tuesday.
Oh yeah, we had that terrible debacle with the Tuesday recording session, which
so
was entirely my fault.
Fuck, we're back to Wednesday now,
Yeah,
Ugh,
yeah.
God. But yeah, buddy, it's been over a week since I last talked to you. I've been playing games on my own a lot, which is fine because I've managed to finish Uncharted, which is good.
Nice.
Yes, I managed to get it finished last night. I was like, oh no, I got to get it finished before the podcast. And yeah, I did it with ease, no problems. I think it took me 16 hours altogether, but...
Yeah, that sounds about the same as mine. I think
cool.
mine was about that as well.
Yeah, I managed to get through it on hard. Some bits were very annoying. I uploaded a lovely video to YouTube last night. About 9 minutes of me just trying to do one part over and over again. It was very frustrating.
That. It was baffling.
I didn't know what was... I was like, I'm not a retard at computer games, surely?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you have issues on that bit, or were you just
no? First time.
Weird.
I went back and played it today because I was like, I need to see this in action. First time, but obviously I'm not. I know that you're a really good video games player. Like it's not. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if there was some sort of like
I felt like I was getting
that
fucked
kicked
there.
In.
I don't know. I don't know. It was just really annoying. Anyway.
I was seeing, like, when you first jumped on it seemed like it was completely uncontrollable from the way that you were moving.
Yeah, it was sliding me off to the right. And I was like, what is this? Like,
that's not supposed to happen. That didn't happen to me.
It was just pulling me over. I was like, ah! Anyway. That game is fucking sweet, but we'll talk about that later, I guess.
Yeah, cool.
What have I been doing this week? I hear you ask. Probably didn't, but I'll tell you anyway.
I can't remember if I did or not, because I always do. But needless to say, buddy, you know that I want to know.
Oh, yeah. So what have I been doing? I have been messing about with Windows XP. Don't ask me
what do you mean by this?
It's, I've had an idea that I'm going to build some sort of media PC because I've got an Android box in my front room, and it just hasn't got the beans, buddy. It hasn't got the chops. It's a bit stuttery. So I thought, you know what? Why not? Make a media PC. So I managed to get an old computer. Nothing great. I think it's like some kind of Pentium D processor or something. It'll run stuff. I think it's like 2.8 gigahertz.
Space age.
Oh yeah, it's about 10 years old, but it was free.
That's all you need, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Gibbons, buddy. I might have to upgrade the RAM. It's only got like 2 gig of RAM in there. I was like, I might have to put a couple more in, but it does the job. And yeah, Windows XP is just fucking dead. Like it's got it like pre-installed on there, and you can't do anything on that thing. I was just like, wow. Like trying to remember back, like using it, I was just like, how did people use this? It just doesn't do anything. I was like, I just want to install like Firefox or any kind of internet browser, and it was just like, nah, it's not supported anymore, mate. I'm like,
because people get like rose-tinted glasses about old OSs and stuff. Like they think about the good old days, and they're like, oh, this bloody Windows 10, it's like designed for touch screens. It's all bullshit. Everything's better now, isn't it?
Yeah, everything is better. But I managed to get Windows 7 installed on that computer, and it kind of runs okay, but I won't be using it. It's just like going to be sitting there as operating in the background, not working. I'll just install Kodi on there, and then everything will be sweet. But yeah, I've been looking at loads of computer parts. I was like, oh, maybe I'll just build like a media center, and you can like build like I think they're called a mini ITX like system for about like quite a decent one for about 200 quid. And I was like, ugh. I just can't afford that.
That's it, isn't it? That's right on the cusp, like at 50 quid less, and you'd be like, yeah, that's definitely worth my while. Yeah. But as soon as you creep towards £200, it's like, oh, really? Like,
because I was looking at it, I was just like, I'll just get the motherboard, the RAM, and like the processor, and that'll run it. And I was like, oh yeah, but then I need to buy like a case, and then I need to buy like a power supply. Oh, and then the hard drive if I want a solid state one as well. And I'm like, oh shit, it all just adds up. But yeah, I'm still contemplating building a new one, but I don't know. I might try just source some like newer, older parts, like
maybe
like
you
5-year-old.
Buy some old tower off eBay or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I want something small, obviously, for the living room, and I could get like a micro ATX motherboard, but still they're still reasonably large. But I don't know. Thinking about it. I had a meeting at work today. I was proposing that we should get VR at work. And
how did that go?
I think it's going to go forward.
Really?
I think so. So,
what were your arguments for getting VR in a prison?
Well, we were looking at it from... Obviously, we were looking at the way that, we want VR to fuck about with. So, like, how can we try and persuade people to get it in here? So, we went to, like, the psychology department. We're like, we've been doing this research on different phobias and things. And, virtual reality is, like, the forefront of, where these things can be going. Because you can emulate this, like, phobias and stuff in a safe environment. And they're like, So I spent all morning like researching, putting like a little pamphlet together. I found it like a couple of case studies where VR had been used, and it was like, VR's awesome. I'm like, we're sticking that in the pack, and they're like, okay, get us a cost analysis done, and we'll think about this. And I'm like, sweet, get in.
Nice.
So might have like an Oculus Rift by like the end of the year or something, which would be very good, buddy. Be fucking
nice,
sweet,
buddy. That'd be good for the porn. Excellent.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to do that at work, but I don't see why not. I'm sure like my buddies at work will be totally up for that. I mean, it was discussed in privacy, but yeah. Oh dear. So VR, I might be doing some of that. Like I've been saying, I completed Uncharted, and I did it wearing headphones, buddy. Wearing my lovely 7.1 surround sound, whatever Sony wireless gold things they're called, I don't know.
And did you feel that added to the experience?
At the time, no. But then, like, they died last night, about an hour before, like, the end. Like, the battery ran out, unfortunately, because I forgot to charge them. And I put it back onto, like, the sound bar on the telly, and I was like, wow. This is really, like, shit compared to the headphones. So I think, like, if there's, like, single-player games that I really want to get immersed in, I'm going to be wearing the headphones from now on. So, like, with Doom, like, when I get a chance to play the single-player game, which I'm so excited for, seeing as that's all anyone's still talking about now is just the Doom campaign. I can't wait to play that. And I'm just going to be like, pop my headphones on, off I go. It's going to be sweet, buddy.
Nice, man. I think I might need to invest in some of those, to be honest.
Yeah, like they were on sale in Smith Toys. I think the nearest one near you is probably Downing Maidstone or something. I think there's one around there. There's probably one in Chatham, to be honest. But yeah, they were on sale there for 50 quid again, which is what I got them for. And
it's a good price, isn't it?
Yeah, it seriously is, and they're extremely comfy. I mean, I'm wearing them right now. Like, they are one of the comfiest sets of headphones that I've worn. And with Uncharted, it had like their preset like EQ and whatever bass boost or whatever you want, and you can download it to the headset itself. And I yeah, that's what I did actually. Sorry, backtracking a sec. I was listening to it on 7.1. Then they died, so I plugged it into the controller, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds horrible compared to what the 7.1 sounded." And then I went onto the soundbar, and I was just like, you know what? Like, I didn't appreciate it while I was using it, but it really does make quite a big difference, and is really cool. And yeah, for 50 quid, I highly recommend these if you've got a PS4.
And I think it's really cool that they've got the bespoke EQs for each game as well. I think that's a really nice touch.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not for like every single game. It's only for like mainly like
first party Sony stuff,
and then like a couple of others like Destiny and things that have actually gone to the bother of doing it. But there are like standard presets in there, like, you know, heavy bass, and you know, because that's how he likes it, heavy on the bass, buddy.
Oosh, indeed. and yeah, you can match like games up with one another, can't you? Like a bespoke EQ for a sort of sci-fi shooter is going to work for all sci-fi shooters and that sort of thing, probably. So that can make sense.
Gibbons, buddy. Hooch is crazy.
Gibbon.
But yeah, that's pretty much my week, because I just spent it playing Uncharted, searching for that pirate booty, buddy. How about you? How was your holishlay?
My holishlay was wonderful, buddy. I've been all about the place like a blue bottle in many ways. Ooh. And yeah, I've had ridiculous weather. I got badly sunburnt. Nice. Which is ridiculous because I was north of Newcastle. It's supposed to be very cold there at all times. That's the impression that I got. But no, it's just been fantastic. Went to York first, stayed over there for a night.
Because you went further north, you were closer to the sun because you went up.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's just a question of altitude, buddy. Got it in one.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true. Yeah, went to York. I had the nicest meal I've ever had in my life. Also, one of the most expensive.
Good, buddy.
It was fucking cool. This place was called Oxo's on the Mount, and they treated us like we were royals. Like they showed us to the drawing room rather than a table. Nice. Gave us the menus. Barman came out, took drinks orders, and then brought them over on a silver tray.
That's what you like.
Then the maitre d' guy came over, took our orders while we were just like slothing about in the armchairs, and was like, "Oh yeah, I'll show you to your table when the starters are ready." And I was like, "Cool." Showed us to this like beautiful table overlooking a lovely garden, and our wine was there on ice, and the food was fucking spectacular. And they gave us like complimentary fucking caviar and ham and some sort of salmon, and then loads of lovely bread and all sorts of shit, but it was crazy. Showed us back to the drawing room after our meal was done for tea and coffee. It was like, this is the life right here. So yeah, nice, pretty buddy. Special. So that was good. And then went up to Bamborough, and that is in Northumberland, and is just crazy. Like they shoot loads of like movies and stuff there because it's just mental. It's just this big flat beach with like a castle overlooking it. It was crazy. Just up there, like some sort of weird paradise. It didn't really feel like I was in England anymore. Did some cool trips, had some nice food.
By trips, you mean drugs? Yeah.
I do not. I mean wildlife trips.
Okay.
So
not so cool.
We took a catamaran to the Farne Islands and went seal watching and bird watching for puffins.
Oh, did you see any puffins, buddy?
Saw hundreds of puffins.
Hundreds?
There's a lot of it about. Yes,
Jesus.
There's 50,000 mating pairs of puffins on the Farn Islands.
Were they all going at it simultaneously?
Hammer and tongs? No,
gangbang.
No. But there were some cool birds there called terns, and because this is like a National Trust island, it's basically like, yeah, this belongs to the birds and you're just going to have to like lump it kind of thing. So there's this footpath going all the way around the island. But if any birds decide that they're going to make their nests and lay their eggs on that path, then they just draw like a chalk outline around it like a crime scene and then like tape it off and you have to just avoid it.
Nice.
Like, if you tread on any eggs or anything, they'll just, like, eject you off the fucking island. I presume they'd just chuck you in the sea. I don't know. But because there were these birds, these terns with, like, nests on the path, they were, like, dive bombing people because they were like, fucking get away from my nest.
Babies or whatever. Fucking sweet.
So... I
bet they weren't really for you because you're tall as well. You're like, I was major threat. Kill.
I was wearing a really big grey coat with a big hood. I presumably looked like some sort of terrifying walking rock face. Oh, God. So they were like, they were shit up. Let's just put it that way.
Right,
and
Jesus,
yeah,
scary
they were just
stuff,
dive bombing my head. It was pretty special. It didn't hurt, but it was funny.
Nice,
but yeah, it was cool. Went to an island that's like there's like all these tide things up there where you can only cross at certain times because it's like a causeway and the tide comes in and like submerges the road.
Yeah, I get it.
It was crazy. So yeah, we went over to this island at like 2, and the last safe crossing was 2:30, and we kind of thought, okay, so everyone's presumably going to turn up sometime early afternoon, and then the safe crossing was like 7:30 after that, so you sort of wander about for 5 hours or whatever and then go home.
Yeah.
But no, apparently everyone goes there in the morning and fucks off before the tide comes in.
Really?
And because it was also a Sunday as well, it meant that it was like a fucking ghost town. Like, the population of this island is like 80 people.
Yeah.
And the weather wasn't especially good at that point either, so we were just walking around this ghost town like waiting for the tide to go out. It was really weird.
Awesome.
But yeah, pretty cool. Finished off my trip down in Cambridge at this hotel that's like a converted army base and looks horrible from the outside, but they've spent millions on the inside and it's really nice. Has like a 50-inch telly and a complimentary like tablet in your room. It's pretty cool.
Did you go in the browser history on the tablet?
There was no like proper. It was some sort of like bullshit browser, like in a bespoke like Flash browser thing. It was fucking shit. Like, I was trying to watch YouTube videos and it had like a 5-minute sleep timer, and it was one of these things where it doesn't recognize a full screen video as you doing anything. So it just kept turning the screen off every 5 minutes. It was bullshit.
That is what you want.
So yeah, all in all, buddy, good holiday, rounded off in the end by a trip to the cinema on our final day to see the new X-Men film, which I highly recommend. It was really, really good.
Nice, buddy. I've still got my free cinema tickets. I won at Mackie D's that I haven't used yet, so yeah,
be a good
one weekend I will get away from the kids one day.
It's a fun film. Really, really good. Weird pacing. Like, it felt like it was like 90% leading up to a fight, and then there was like a 10-minute fight kind of thing. So it kind of felt like a bit of an uneven spread. I don't know. Maybe that was just me.
I'm not a big fan of uneven spreads, buddy.
I really like those X-Men films. They're cool.
They're not bad.
So yeah.
Better than those Fantastic Four.
So yeah, I think that's about it, buddy.
Terrible.
Yeah, fuck that shit. There'll be none of that. Now, the X-Men was quite a nice antidote to the whole, like, Avengers shit.
I thought you were going to say the whole, like, nature week. Fuck that. Let's get back to reality. Get in the cinema. Watch a big TV.
Yeah. Saw all these fucking puffins, and I was like, for fuck's sake, I wish there was just, like, Magneto here. That's kind of really after a bit of Wolverine at this point, rather than these fucking sea lions. That'd be good.
Givens, buddy. Yeah. I'm totally with you.
So, yeah, that was my week. I just have been away. I went away the following day to the last week's podcast recording, and I got back late last night. Went to work today,
Ooh,
so
fun.
I've done nothing other than that.
Nice, buddy.
So I'd imagine what we've been playing is going to be a little bit shorter than usual, but that's probably best.
Yeah, it's rather late. Let's do it.
Let's go and have a little cheeky talk about what we've been playing.
Carding Coke. Do it. Do it.
Do it. Do it. So it's a tiny little list, buddy. One for you, one for me. So do you want to get the ball rolling with a bit of Uncharted speak?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember where we left it last week. I was pretty much saying that this is the greatest adventure game that I've ever played, and I still think that's the same. I mean, there was a point where it kind of did drag, and I was like, okay, this needs to hurry up and finish now. But to be honest, I think if that section, I think it was around about chapter 18, I think, around there, like I could have done with maybe like an hour less of that stage.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to go into spoiling stuff. I mean, do you reckon we'll do like a spoiler cast of this? Because there's a lot that I want to talk about.
I'm totally up for that. We just need to find the time to do it, really. You just need to find a spare hour at some point over the next week or so. But I reckon we can definitely do that.
Okay. Well, I was thinking maybe just chuck it on the end of this one if we get time. If we get through all the rest of this.
Yeah, could happen. Whenever we do it, I think we should definitely do it. So.
Okay. Yeah, so we all know the issues with Uncharted, with some of the shooting and stuff. I played it through on hard. Friend of the podcast, JJ, he's going through it on crushing, which we were having a little chat again, and yeah, he was struggling a bit. It was getting a bit too heavy, and I kind of understand in certain parts of that game where it would get hard, where like the enemies just literally rush you, and there's nothing you can do if you don't kill them quick. You're gonna die.
There's a hell of a lot of that in this one as well, like far more than in the other three.
I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was a lot better than the other ones. Like, I only remember really like 3 or 4 times where I was like in a tough situation where I was like, okay, yeah, I kept dying and dying.
I think it depends how you play it, to be honest. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I kind of found that I regularly got overwhelmed by enemies, but that was because I was trying to stealth through sections, and then they spotted me, and I was in the middle of like 5 of them.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I get what you're saying.
Whereas if you're more meticulous and come at it from one angle, kind of thing,
and kind of
I could
sweep
see it being. Yeah. I mean, there's certainly less of these like awful tanky characters in this one. That
yes, definitely. I only
really
came across like a few
games.
sections where that was the case. I really like the stealth sections. I think I tried to do as much as that in stealth as I could. Like you said, if you do get caught, you can just run away in a way on this. And that's pretty much what I did. I went around stealth killing everyone, and then just, if I did get found, I'd run away. There was a section where there was some water you could go in, so I would just jump back in the water and go and hide underneath the building itself. So like, where's he gone? I'm like, yeah, I'm literally
weirdly satisfying, that whole like suddenly wreaking havoc and then disappearing back into the shadows.
I found it really funny. Like, I'd be hiding in a bush, and I'd watch like 3 of them walk together and just like toss a grenade in between all of them. They're like, boom, and then everyone's like, oh, what's that? I'm like, I got you.
And I really like the fact that if you throw nades, then they don't know where it came from.
Yes, totally.
So many games have fucked that. Like, you throw a nade and all of them look round from where it came from instantly. Whereas
no, that's bullshit.
No. Exactly.
I was going to say something. Yes. One thing that I really also like about this game, even though it's such a linear game, it really doesn't feel that way in a lot of the like parts, because there's like 2, 3, 4 different routes to take. And like, because I like walking around trying to find collectibles and stuff, I was like, oh wow, I could have gone this way, I could have gone round here and climbed up this wall, I could have gone under there, and they all kind of lead you to the same place. And I was like, it's like half the time I was like, am I going in the right direction? I just didn't know, but I really liked that about this game. It wasn't so direct.
It is a great antidote to that whole linear experience.
Yes.
The
level design must be. I thought it was absolutely fantastic the way they did that.
And it doesn't even need to. It doesn't even need to lead anywhere. Like you know when you discover these other routes that it's kind of irrelevant. You'd have ended up in the same place within 30 seconds anyway. But it just feels better. It just feels like smarter and also kind of like you're doing things your own way more. It gives you more of a sense of freedom, as though this is your adventure specifically, rather than just a generic walk kind of playthrough.
Yeah, I think because I'm definitely going to play through it again. I might try and go for the speedrun achievement where you have to complete it in 6 hours, which might be a challenge. But
sounds interesting.
Yeah, just chuck it on like easy or whatever, and then just try and sprint it. I mean, it's obviously doable, but
could be
I feel
fun.
I feel like if I went round again, I'd probably find different routes each time. But yeah, well, I can't really talk about the enemies, can I? Because that'd be spoiling it. Oh well. I'll just say the tunnel section, that was bad.
Sure.
That was bad for me.
Okay.
I didn't enjoy that. With the things that are wrapped up, I really didn't like them. I felt like that was their equivalent of, the annoying stuff from the other games that people don't really like that much.
I think the thing I find most annoying about Uncharted, and there aren't many things, to be honest, I think it's a little clunky in places. I still think that. I've got a real problem with the gunplay as well, and the aiming from cover and stuff. But I feel like there's too much of each individual thing. Like, they milk each individual. If there's a new mechanic, then you'll do it 300 times. And if there's a new idea they've got, then it'll be an hour of that idea. There's just a little bit too much. It's not padding, it's just embellishment of stuff. And I think that's the only problem. Obviously, they're building a game. They're trying to build a game that is compelling and interesting for everyone. And that's hard when you're making something so commercial. It's difficult. And it's a credit to them, the amount of creativity that goes into it and the amount of unique ideas. But yeah, stuff like moving crates to get up places.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
The ladder thing in The Last of Us as well. Yeah. It's like, and the gravel sliding stuff. To a lesser extent, I found that mostly more fun.
Yeah, same. I was going to say, like, the gravel sliding, I found all of it really fun, apart from that one bit that totally fucked me.
I'm convinced that something had gone wrong there.
I think so too. Out. Like, seriously, because I was just like, what is going on? But anyway.
It'd be interesting when you play that bit again.
Yeah, like in parts of it, I would like work out the puzzle first, like what I would have to do, and it wouldn't let me because I had to wait for my like counterpart to say, oh, have you looked at this? I'm like, yeah, I have looked at that. I thought we could do that. And it's like, okay, yeah, I could have sped things along, but it wouldn't let me, kind of thing, which is fine, but I don't know, it should let you just be like, hey, I'm going to do this, and then you go off and do it, kind of thing. But yeah.
Again, I think it's kind of like the big studio commercial trying to appeal to everyone. If you compare it to something like The Witcher, for example, like that's a studio that doesn't, they're not going to like hold your hand through the game. Whereas Naughty Dog, they have to do that. Like it's Sony's big game, and sometimes it's detrimental to the experience. Sometimes it's almost too accessible to people who don't regularly play lots of games, and that is detrimental to the people that do. But at the same time, you can kind of understand it.
Yeah. The action scenes, I will call them action scenes, and It was funny because you play that classic game in Uncharted.
Yeah, sure.
Playing those action sequences, I was like, this is exactly the same as that, but just prettier.
It's true, yeah.
It's
almost
weird.
like a little cheeky nod there, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so, because like that's all it is, pretty much, like run and jump and And that's what that other, that classic game was. It was weird. I don't know, for some reason it just clicked like halfway through that. I was like, oh yeah, that's weird.
the oddest thing that I took away from Uncharted 4 was the bit that I thought I was going to really enjoy was the bit that I didn't enjoy at all, which was the bit. It's been in the trailers, all the trailers. The bit where you drive the vehicle through the town.
Yes.
Yeah,
I found the handling terrible.
Couldn't control it.
Yeah, I know. What's that all about?
You get to that section having been driving the Jeep for some time with no problems whatsoever, and then suddenly it's like you're on a fucking ice rink.
Yeah.
And I was just... I didn't enjoy it at all.
No, me neither. I was just hitting all the sides, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. This is weird.
Weird.
This isn't how I saw this going.
All in all, fucking what a game, though.
The ups and downs, buddy, is just fucking... Givens. What a roller coaster.
And we'll have a good old delve into this game for anyone who has finished it or doesn't care about spoilers. And keep an eye on our feed. I'll do some tweeting and Facebooking when that's going to go up as well. And we'll go into detail on that because, like you, buddy, it's fresh in my mind still and I've got so much to say about it. So
definitely, buddy. Totally worth it. So that's pretty much me done for games, buddy. Played a lot of Battlefield 4 on game night, which was lots of fun, and a bit of PES, but everyone knows about those games. What have you been playing then, buddy?
So I've only turned my console on twice since the last time we recorded. Once was when you went to bed after last week's recording session.
Nice.
And the other was about an hour and a half ago for a little while. So and on both occasions I was playing Doom Campaign. That's what I was playing.
Oh,
because
jealous.
Fucking hell.
So jealous, buddy.
It's so good.
Everyone, I've only played the multiplayer, and everyone's saying, the
weakest
single player
element.
just the multiplayer is nothing. The single player is where it's at, and I'm like,
it's so ridiculous. There's just stuff everywhere. All the enemies are so erratic, and they come from so many different angles. They can teleport in through portals, and they're all just racing around you all the time. And it just feels like an absolute fucking free-for-all. And then on top of that, you're in a situation where your health isn't going to regen, so there's no point ever hiding.
No.
And you're just herring about the place, battering people. You get health for doing the glory kills, so you need to do them to keep healing up. You got a chainsaw, and if you use that to kill people, then they drop ammo instead of health. So it's it's almost like an arcade game as well as a shooter.
Yeah, so you got to string things together.
It's so fucking satisfying. Honestly, I can't believe it. I'm having a ball. I'm having an absolute ball. I think I'm about 3 hours in, something like that. The first level or so was hugely underwhelming, but since then it's just been going from strength to strength, and it's just satisfying. That's the word for it, and highly addictive. It's just so much fun. It just feels so refined, which is ridiculous because it's employing so many old mechanics, and yet
totally.
It's the freshest thing I've played for years and years, and I can see why people are losing their shit over it because I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
Nice, buddy. I'm definitely going to have to get involved on that with the old 7.1 surround sound headphones.
Gibbons, and the sound design's fantastic on that as well. The horrible shrieks of the enemies and stuff. It's
that's what I want.
It's brilliant. The animation's class, the story's class, and as well as being kind of frightening, it's also really funny because it's so self-aware.
Yeah.
And all the characters are really interesting. I'm just getting into kind of the meat of the story now, and it's a ridiculous game and a massive sleeper hit that I think people will be talking about heavily when it comes around to Game of the Year at the end of 2016. But yeah, it's weird. They kind of led with the multiplayer component of that thing, and that's the thing everyone likes the least.
They had to put that out for beta testing, didn't they? Really, just to
definitely
get the servers working. I mean, that's why it was there, and that sold Doom to me in the first place. So just because it was so smooth, and the 60 frames per second just made it feel good. Really, it made it work, and it ran.
And they probably
really well.
didn't know that I don't think anyone knew they wanted a single player shooter. But
I mean, those things are, well, not anymore, but they were like dead in the water. No one cared about the single player campaign. Like a lot of games, thought, we don't need this. We could just do a multiplayer thing like Battlefront and stuff like that. But clearly, that single player and Rainbow Six Siege. I mean, that hasn't got any like single player storyline or anything, has it?
And I think Bethesda have done a lot of damage here. Like, I think that the popularity of this is gathering pace. People are talking about it more and more each week. Yeah. It's not like dying down since the release, and you sort of start to think that some of these companies are going to be having board meetings like, oh fuck, we're going to have to put single player as a prominent feature from now on, kind of thing. It's doing great work for the consumer and probably a lot of damage for devs, but it's a beautiful thing. It really, really is, and I know you'll feel the same when you can get stuck into it as well.
Yeah, I can't wait, buddy.
It's really, my kind of, really since I finished Uncharted, it's my main focal point at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's what I said last week. Like, I'm just going to focus on Uncharted, finish that. Not like I want to rush through it or anything. I took my time with it. I mean, 16 hours. I mean, like, you can do that a lot quicker, but yeah, got that out of the way now. Focus on the Doom campaign, and then maybe, I don't know, probably just end up playing Overwatch when we buy that, which would be this week.
Yes, indeed, buddy.
Hopefully we'll have it by the weekend.
Yep, I would have thought we'd be playing that over the weekend and probably be talking about that next week.
I reckon so, I'm very excited about as well.
So there you go, short and sweet. A fair bit of detail for 2 games anyway, but that's all I've been playing. Yeah, fantastic. What a time to be alive, buddy.
Ooh, it's beautiful.
And now it's time for the news.
The news.
The news.
The news.
The news.
The news.
All right. Number one.
Called it.
Fucking, he called it. I doff my cap to you, sir. Take a bow, so to speak. Suck a dick. Whatever you want to say, really. This is a rumor, but this is a rumor in big capital letters that means it's basically going to happen. Various different sources, originally broken by Kotaku. The Xbox One Slim is coming this year. It will unveil at E3. It will have a 2 terabyte hard drive. Ash called that. He said that was what you said it last week. You said it on last week's podcast.
That's what I do, buddy. Edit the truth.
He edits the truth. And here we are. Here we are once again. It looks like rather than trying to go toe-to-toe with Sony's alleged more powerful console this year, Microsoft are consolidating. They're bringing out a slimmer, cheaper version of the current Xbox One with a view to release a new console in 2017. It will be a more powerful Xbox console. The current codename is Scorpio.
Nice.
It will have 4K support. It will be more powerful in every department, and more interestingly than all of those things,
yes,
it will have full support for the Oculus Rift.
Oh.
Now, what do you make of all that? Obviously, fair play to you, buddy. You called the Slim. I just couldn't see them doing that when new Sony console's coming out. They've obviously decided, and we've been picking apart the alleged stats and the figures and so on for the PlayStation Neo or PS4K or whatever. It looks like Microsoft have thought, no, we're going to do this right. We're going to wait a year. Release a stopgap now. But what do you make of that Oculus support as well?
That's just fucking cool, buddy. I mean, that's good news, I reckon.
Because you wondered how they'd compete with the VR stuff. I mean, if they've got a solid, powerful console with full Oculus support, that's going to shit all over PlayStation VR in terms of the quality of graphics and everything, frame rate, everything.
It's going to make me rethink, one, upgrading my PS4, and also 2, buying, PlayStation VR now, if they come out and say that, because I don't know, like next year, if they come out and say this thing like 4K support, that could just mean it can play 4K video and support 4K. Like, you know, we've discussed previously about like the new the PlayStation Neo. It could just have like 4K video output, but not support the games. Or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's like I said, it's gonna make me rethink those things, and maybe 2017. I mean, how was the PS4 going to be then? 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah, almost enough time for you to justify buying a new console.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I don't see why not. I'd be happy with that. What year did it come out?
2013.
13. Oh yeah, so it'd be 4 years. Okay. I would have preferred 5. I think I said 5 when, like, months ago when we said, like, how long would we wait. I think I said 5. But yeah, why not? Let's see what it does. It'd be cool.
It's made things very difficult to understand and to decide on things. There's so many different options and different paths you can take now as the consumer, but at the same time, we don't really know anything absolutely solid. We don't know prices of anything. We haven't got enough information yet. What we know at this point is do not buy a fucking console right now. That's all we really know at this point. Don't buy a console.
Just wait.
But yeah, I mean, E3's massive now because would Xbox announce any of this stuff for the 2017 model when they're releasing the Slim? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. You know, we literally just said don't buy a console now. Yeah, you can get like an Xbox One for like 160 quid if you look around.
Yeah, but what's it going to be when the Slim comes out?
I don't know, but like 160 quid if you're like gagging for something, or if you're like, oh, I can't really wait like until the new PS4 comes out, and you know, or the year after. I mean, 160 quid's not bad.
It's true, and I'm kind of playing devil's advocate to a degree. I was talking to a friend of the podcast, Dan, today, and he was saying, have you considered just not buying, don't upgrade your PlayStation, don't buy PlayStation VR, just buy a cheap Xbox One and go down to your local fucking game or whatever and just clean up on 360 titles and just have an absolute party with like 200 games. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it has crossed my mind. I could be playing Gotham and Vegas and that, like, cheap. And we could be playing all of our favourite old school games.
I could be playing Trials HD right now.
We could, but would that novelty wear off? How long would it take to do so?
I think that time has had its day.
Again, rose-tinted spectacles, buddy, of times gone by.
I think so. Know. Or we could buy like an Xbox One and get EA access and just rinse EA's library on that.
That's true. That is true.
It's such a strange time for console gaming right now, because like there's all fucking rumors about everything coming around, and then obviously like there's all the VR support and stuff getting chucked on top. So I just don't know. It's an odd one. It's very strange. What do you think, buddy? Anything else you want to say about that?
I mean, to be honest, it feels at the moment as though everything's changing weekly, so I don't really want to comment too heavily. But what I will say is, I think it's a good move from Microsoft. They were already at a disadvantage with the market share, and I don't think it's a bad decision on their part at all to see how things play out and perhaps launch a more powerful system after the PlayStation, after they've seen how the market goes, because I don't believe that either Sony or Microsoft can accurately predict how things are going to play out here. This is uncharted territory for everyone. So
definitely. I agree with that.
We'll leave it at that, I think, because, you know, this is speculation and rumor still. It's just from some very reliable sources. So either way, it's exciting. It makes me very excited for E3, just because I just don't know what's going to happen there. And that's always the best way to go in to that expo.
And, you know, the Xbox One Slim, it's going to be called the Xbox One S, and everyone's going to call it the Xbones.
X-Bones. Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. In keeping with the sort of single letter stuff they did with the 360's various iterations as well.
There you go. I'm calling that one as well, buddy.
Nice. And who would fucking disagree at this point? Speaking of EA Access, as you did a moment ago, buddy, EA Access number 2 on the old news here. EA Access will be free from June the 12th to the 22nd, basically while E3 is on. So while E3 is on, if you have an Xbox One, you can jump onto EA Access and play that entire library free of charge for 10 days or so.
Definitely worth doing.
It certainly is. And if we had Xboxes, we would already be members, and that would be irrelevant. So yeah.
Gibbons.
We move on. The Division update. I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on this, buddy.
Little bit.
I think the biggest change that I noticed, other than the obvious addition of new missions, new weapons, and so on, is that you can now hijack loot attached to the chopper rope, so you can sabotage people while their loot is being extracted from the dark zone.
That's gash.
Sounds awful. At the same time, if you were a huge fan of the whole Dark Zone stuff, then you probably would welcome that as another way to spice things up, I think. But
I guess so, yeah.
If you're low level like we are, or not playing anymore like we are, then then that's another reason not to load that game up again. The idea that high level people could just come and fuck you up just when you think you've finally extracted something. Yeah, it'd be pretty awful. Other features include new missions, new incursions, and new items. It's quite a big update, this. So
there's a new currency as well. I can't remember.
Sweet, they needed another one of those.
Yeah. I believe it's totally fucked as well, buddy.
As is tradition, of course.
Have you read any of the stuff that's been happening?
I've heard that there are bugs and glitches, but I have to be honest with you here, and people who regularly listen to this podcast know this isn't like me. I normally read on even if I'm not that interested for posterity. I skipped over the stuff that was like, oh yeah, it's got this, this, and this, and I was just like, yeah, where's the bit that tells me where it's totally fucked? Yeah, apparently the whole thing of people's characters getting deleted is back, which is nice. Yeah, there's issues with the new whatever raid thing it's called, that you just can't get into it. There was reports where people were trying for 2 hours and it just kept kicking them back either to safe houses or to the beginning game menu. It would just boot them out of the game. Wow.
There's certain missions or whatever you have to do, I can't remember what they're called, to get this new currency. People have been doing that and then going back to the vendor to get the currency, and the guy's just been like, no, what are you on about? There's nothing for you here.
Wow, cool.
So they've had to go back, do the mission again, then go back to the dude, and then they're like, oh no, that still hasn't worked, do it again. And then 4 or 5 times later they finally get their reward. I mean, yeah, that game's broken again, so well played, Ubisoft. Yay.
It's good stuff. When The Division launched, it seemed quite fresh and quite slick, and I was kind of thinking, this isn't going to be another Destiny where it just kind of fades away. But in actual fact, it's faded away
quicker,
far more quickly.
Yeah,
far more quickly.
Destiny, for me anyway. Even without the Taken King, even the original Destiny game lasted longer than the Division did, I believe.
It certainly feels that way, and it's probably a subjective thing to a degree. Although I'm sure Ubisoft have the statistics, which is probably why they aren't publishing them. But it really does feel like that thing's kind of dead in the water already. And for a game of that ilk, where it's kind of designed to be something that people play for years and years, that's not cool.
It's not good. Oh well.
So we'll move on. And we'll move on to the only game thing that I paid any attention to while I was on holiday. I happened to be in a hotel with solid
buddy?
Wi-Fi.
Is it some sort of genre of game that you love so much?
It was indeed a racing game reveal, buddy. And I lingered in the bar in the hotel in Bamborough so that I could watch the actual reveal event, because the Wi-Fi was shite in my room.
Nice.
And this is Gran Turismo Sport, which seems to have kind of popped up very, very quickly. We talked about it briefly last week.
Yes, you did, and you were saying that, hey, this is going to be all over E3.
I was. They kind of shot their load a bit early doors, to be honest.
Yeah, they got a bit too excited.
We already know everything, I think. Firstly, you were saying about how they said they were going to have a beta and then they didn't. And I said, well, no, they did have a closed beta, which is true. But they have also now cancelled the open beta that they said they were going to have. So you're kind of right there as well.
Great news.
So this is Gran Turismo Sport, which it didn't look overly pretty to me, if I'm honest. Passable, but certainly not really.
Not like Forza levels of shininess.
Not at all. 19 locations, 27 tracks, some of them dirt tracks. There's a return of, I think it was GT3 was the last time they had dirt tracks. So
yes, they had rally sections and it was lots of fun.
Yes, yeah, that's a popular statement. 137 is the number of cars, allegedly, which is far less than a standard Gran Turismo game, although it would appear that this is a stopgap rather than a Gran Turismo 7. They also are aiming for full VR support from launch, optimization for the new console as well. As I said, the open beta planned for this spring-summer has been cancelled. Yamauchi says, sorry, but to run the beta would push the launch window into 2017, which I find ominous. Yeah,
because they have to get like a working game or something, I think, or a working, I can't remember the word he used, like put like a pattern or something forward and be like, hey, yeah, check this out. And then for them, like, instead of just doing that once for the game to come out, they would have to do that twice, which would push the game back, and that's why.
Yep. Still a worry that they're not going to test anything really properly.
Yeah, a little bit worried.
When they'd already announced they were going to, which suggested that they needed to. So, yes. Either way, this is launching on the 18th of November, and obviously I'm somewhat excited about it because I'm big into racing games, but at the same time, everything feels a bit rushed. Everything seems a bit...
Yeah, it's like, hey, here it is.
Yeah, I'm just not sure, to be honest. So, I've watched a fair bit of footage. There's plenty of it surfing about on YouTube now. You can watch full races from the GT Academy and all sorts of stuff on there. And it looks like a competent racing game, but I wouldn't say it looks any nicer than, say, Project Cars, which we already have. And conversely, several of the tracks and locations overlap with Project Cars as well. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, they've got stuff like the Nürburgring and Spa on there, which seems like every racing game on Earth now launches with Spa. Yeah. So they're obviously really easy. But yeah, exciting because it's a GT. I've never been, just like when Uncharted came out, I've never had a PlayStation console when one of these franchises has launched, so I'm kind of excited about that. But at the same time, it's all looking a little underwhelming, if you ask me. So
yeah, which is a shame, but
I'm sure we'll see lots more of it. Again, like I would probably forgive it for looking a bit ropey if the launch was 2017, but it isn't. It's November, so worrying. But we'll keep an eye on it, I suppose. That's all we can really do.
Gibbons, B. It's what we do.
Gibbons. So move on. Got a couple more bits. E3 is expanding out to other mini shows, one of which is called E3 Live. It's a free event for anyone who fancies going and will basically be a big show floor full of playable demos just outside of the actual E3 official show. You can head to the E3 website to register, and you can go too. Meanwhile, EA are also finalising the details of their roadshow. You remember us saying before they're doing something in London during E3 week, but they'll also be doing something in LA outside of E3, a similar sort of thing, but with EA games. And tickets for that are available right now, but the London one is selling out fast, so you want to get on that fairly quickly. So yeah, there you go. E3 ramping up, buddy. We're like 20 odd days away as I speak this evening.
Getting closer. I didn't realise how close. Like last week, I was just nonchalantly was like, yeah, it's turning up some point whenever. I don't care. But now I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. It's coming quick and fast, buddy, just how I like it.
Step back. Yeah, Gibbons, buddy.
So finally from me in the news, I'm chucking this in there. I don't give a flying fuck about it, but I'll tell you anyway. The new Resident Evil game is called Umbrella Corps.
Cool.
Corps, C-O-R-P-S, not C-O-R-P-S-E, although, Rothel, I see what you did there.
See,
it features
luckily,
full
I'm
arena
stupid
multiplayer.
enough that I didn't realise that. I was just like, funny.
It features full arena multiplayer, which actually looks quite cool. In a sort of Gears of War sense, this is like a third-person shooter kind of multiplayer.
But isn't Resident Evil one of the slowest games to play when you're shooting?
Traditionally, yeah.
So is this going to be the slowest multiplayer arena you've ever seen?
I don't know, man.
Walking around.
I remember loading up Resi 5 on the 360, and there was a mechanic that meant you couldn't aim and fire whilst moving. You had to stop. And I was like, this franchise is not for me. And that's why I don't care. Either way, they're already peddling DLC and upgrade packs, including the maps Raccoon City and Police Station.
That's the fucking way to do it.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Resident Evil. I don't care. But if you do, fair play. And that's my news, buddy. That's me done. So have you got anything to add in everyone's favourite section, Ash's news favourite things of the week?
If you like news but hate information, you have found the right place. Ash's news favourite thing of the week.
Gibbons, buddy, I got 3 things for you. Firstly, the new Doom campaign turns around Steam user reviews. You remember a while ago we were saying how loads of Steam user reviews were just beating the shit out of Doom for its stupid. They just didn't like the stupid multiplayer on it from the open beta.
Sure,
well, now,
said it was Halo.
Yep. Thankfully, that's turned around with a whopping 12,267 user reviews. 7,634 of those reviews were negative. But now, it has changed, obviously. I think it's 8,841 of them are now positive and only 669 are negative. So obviously, all those people, 7,000, near 7,000 people, have been yeah, okay, let me just change this.
They hadn't played the story yet.
Exactly, buddy. And that's what we were saying earlier, buddy. And I just thought I'd emphasise it with a couple of stats there.
Nicely done, buddy.
Okay, second on my next thing. Obviously, that makes no sense. Star Wars Battlefront ditched single player to hit the Force Awakens release date. What a bunch of cunts, eh?
Yeah, and we knew that was the case.
Yeah, Gibbons.
Well, we thought that was partly the reason, and the other one was that they could get away with not doing it because of the way that sort of COD was going and Battlefield was going, but they've kind of said they're going to do a story for the next one, but who can say, buddy, whether it'll be ready in time?
Yeah, fingers crossed. Anyway, that is gash. I mean, that would have been ace. A bit of fucking Star Wars story mode. I would have loved that.
Me too.
Stupid EA, once again. And third and finally, buddy, this is definitely my favourite headline of the week. Twice as many people are playing Borderlands 2 than Battleborn right now.
Wow. And I reinstalled the Handsome Jank collection just before I went away with a view to play Borderlands 2 as well.
We'll have to get through some of that, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Over 24 hours, currently sitting at around 4,182 for Battleborn. This is on Steam. And Borderlands 2 was at 8,057. So, yeah.
Not gone well, has it, that?
No, it's not gone well. Listener of the podcast, Tom was saying, hey, Battleborn's £30 at Tesco at the moment. I replied with, do not buy it, that shit.
Yeah.
And that is all.
Such a shame it hasn't really worked out there.
Gibbons, buddy.
Old Randy
they
Pitchford,
tried
buddy.
hard.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Gibbons. And yeah, buddy, that's my news favourite things of the week.
Nicely done, buddy. Good shit. And with that is the end of the news.
Cool.
And now it's time for Fonz or Phoenix.
So what have we got this week, buddy? Up, down, in, out, round, about.
This is a revisit, I think, because this was a Humble Bundle that was on a little while ago, and it proved so popular that it's actually come back. I think it's the first time that the exact same Humble Bundle was returned.
It's crazy.
It's a ridiculous bargain. I don't think I reported it as a Fonz at the time, so it certainly warrants it this time. This is the Ubisoft Humble Bundle. It is back, and it is still insane. This is going to be short and sweet. I'll just read off the facts for you, buddies, and if you're a PC gamer, then you know what to do. So, pay more than $1 and you will get Call of Juarez Gunslinger, Grow Home, and Rayman Origins. Pay more than the average, which currently sits at $6.49. And as well as those games, you will also get Far Cry 3, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist, and Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. Pay more than $15, and as well as all of those games, you will also get Assassin's Creed Rogue and The Crew. And if you pay top dollar, which is $75 price point, which I think equates to about £50, £55, something like that, you will get, and I'll read them all for added effect, buddy, Call of Juarez Gunslinger, Grow Home, Rayman Origins, Far Cry 3, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist, Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, Assassin's Creed Rogue, The Crew, The Division, and a The Division t-shirt.
And don't forget, for that pay more than the average, there's also more games to be added.
Exactly. So there'll be more on the way as well. That's just your starting point. And traditionally, they've added 2 or 3 more AAAs each time.
Yeah,
there's more games to be added.
Yeah.
It's a stupid deal. If you like any of those franchises, then yeah. I mean, The Division is still retailing at £40-45. So if you don't have The Division and you're interested in it, then for an extra tenner you can get half of the Ubisoft's back catalogue there. So
I nearly bought this yesterday when it went live, just because of Splinter Cell Blacklist.
yeah, you can pick that up for what, £4.50 basically.
Yeah,
and you get Far Cry as well, and
and you get all the rest. Yeah. I was very tempted, but I said no. I didn't realise that Ubisoft had been around for like 30 years, though, buddy. Did you know that? It's mental.
Man. Ages and ages and
Crazy
ages.
stuff. But yeah, I do like a bit of Ubisoft, buddy.
Gibbons, and I do like a bit of Humble Bundle. There have been some incredible deals on these Humble Bundles over the years, and always worth popping that in your bookmarks bar and heading over there sporadically. Because usually there's something worth buying on the Humble Bundle store.
Definitely.
And this is a huge Fonz because, a large percentage of these sales go straight to charity as well, which is why Ubi have
that's
allowed
one
them
thing
to be
about
sold
Humble
in this
Bundle.
fashion.
You can adjust the bars on where the money goes, which is very cool. I like that.
It's true. Yep. A whole lot can go to charity and very, very cool.
Good shout, buddy.
And now it's time for Out This Week.
And that's out this week.
Sure is, buddy.
So what we got this week, buddy? What's coming out?
Well, just before we do that, I'm just making absolutely certain at this late stage that the PS Plus hasn't been announced. I didn't think it would be.
No.
And it hasn't. So there we go. So yeah, this is the last podcast of the month, and normally we will have the Games with Gold and the PS Plus titles, but on this specific occasion, the Tuesday falls on the last day of the month, and so in essence, Sony's got kind of another week to play with before they have to kind of tell us, or at least another few days. So normally we'd expect the announcement by now, but it hasn't come. So unfortunately, I haven't got PS Plus, but I do have Xbox Games with Gold.
Which special 3-year anniversary as well, buddy, for Games with Gold.
Indeed. And they celebrate with a fucking AAA, buddy. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I know, buddy. Would be nice. I mean, not this AAA, but,
no, but the gesture is there at least.
Given,
so,
definitely, buddy.
So Xbox Games with Gold. For the Xbox One this month coming, you will have Goat Sim and The Crew. And if you are on 360, but of course with backwards compatibility, these will work on your Xbox One, you will get Super Meat Boy and XCOM as well. So there you go. That's a pretty solid month, if you ask me. I still would quite like to own and play The Crew. I'm just not willing to pay for it because I know it's not that great
I know.
a game.
I'd like to give it a burn. It'd be funny.
I think XCOM on the Xbox One as well.
Yes, definitely. That's very cool. If you haven't played that, definitely give it a go. I enjoyed it on the PC quite a bit, to be honest. It was cool.
Yep, cool
Something
game.
Different.
Sequel's out now as well, of course. But so there you go. I haven't got PlayStation Plus yet.
Next week, buddy.
Indeed. So, also out this week, we have quite a long list, which I will reel off as quickly as I can. This is Daydreamer Awakened Edition. It's coming out on the PS4, which is a 2D side-scroller. It looks
read what you actually wrote, buddy.
Awful looking 2D side scroller. Looks like a Flash game. I presume this is some franchise I don't know anything about, and actually they've remastered it true to its roots or whatever, but to me it looked awful. Dead Island, the definitive edition, is out this week on Xbox One, PS4 and PC. It's $24.99 on the PlayStation Store. I'd imagine it'd be the same on the Xbox. That's a pretty decent price, to be honest.
I mean, if you never played the originals, then it's probably worth picking up.
Yeah.
Especially you can get like a couple of mates in there as well. That's when that game gets really fun.
Yes, yeah. If you've got co-op friends to play this with, it's good fun. It's stupid and shit dialogue and glitchy, but in a sort of B-movie-esque fashion, it actually becomes very entertaining indeed. So.
The crafting wasn't too bad in that, though.
No, it was solid. The crafting was cool. The range of different inanimate objects you could use as weaponry was cool, and there's big environments as well. So
yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's a fun game. And if you've never played Dead Island, then you get Riptide in there as well, which was the follow-up. It was kind of like Dead Island 1.5, and that's another sort of 30, 40 hours of content as well. So plenty to get stuck into. We have One Piece Burning Blood on the Xbox One, PS4 and Vita. There's a demo of this on the store on PlayStation if you want to give it a go. I did that last week, you might remember. It's a mental-looking 3D fighting game.
Screen. Nice.
We have Shadowblade Reloaded. This is on the PS4. It's a 2D side-scroller where you're like a samurai. That looked quite nice, actually, the way that it kind of, you transition through the levels, and it was all very smooth and lovely, so that might be worth a look. We have SteamWorld Heist, which is part of the SteamWorld universe, but nothing like SteamWorld Dig. This is out on PS4 and PS Vita.
This got quite a lot of good reviews and stuff on Steam.
Yeah. A lot of people like this. Originally, it was console exclusive to the 3DS, which was quite weird. But it's like a 2D XCOM, actually. Talking of XCOM this month, it's got the turn-based strategy thing, but it's set in kind of like a cartoony 2D environment. So it's almost like a cross between XCOM and Worms, I would say. But nice. It looked quite fun. So
yeah, I'm just watching a video. It looks interesting, buddy.
Pretty cheeky. Also out this week, we have There Came an Echo on PC. No, not PC, sorry, PS4. And the reason that I was interested in this, because it is a real-time strategy game coming out on PS4. And that's always very interesting when that happens, buddy. We've been looking for a decent RTS on the consoles for a while, haven't we?
Gibbons, buddy. I'm just flicking through. Yeah, it looks interesting, I must say. Well, I'm going to have to keep an eye on this, I think. Might
kind of sci-fi-ish, isn't it? Rather than your traditional like RTS builder, build this, build that. But it looks like there's a lot of co-op elements in there as well. So
yeah,
I don't know. It looks very interesting, to be honest.
See?
No, he's interested.
Keep an eye on that one as well, I think.
Gibbons,
May
buddy.
31st. Oh yeah, we're out this week, aren't we? What a dick.
That will be out when you are listening to this. We also have Pool Nation VR, and that is coming out on the Vive. I think it was out on the Oculus before, was it?
I don't know. Yeah, we did something with Pool Nation VR, I remember.
Yeah, it's where I was saying, do you need like a table to lean on?
Yeah.
Because that makes sense in my head. If it's VR and it's 1-for-1, then you'd need that, wouldn't you? But
definitely.
Yeah, it looks like you do kind of bend over, and perhaps a table would be useful, or maybe it'd completely ruin the immersion because the table might not be the exact same height as the.
Oh God, don't!
You just throw up all over that table. Maybe you don't want it. But anyway, that's out this week. We also have Brigador, which is out on PC, Mac, and Linux. That is a top-down shooter. You are a tank.
Nice.
We have Kick and Fennec on the Xbox One, PS4, and Wii U. This is a pretty cutesy 2D side-scroller.
I'm sure I've got that on the Vita.
Yeah?
I'm sure I've got that on the Vita.
So yeah, it's out on everything else now as well.
Okay. Yeah, it was okay. Nothing great, just standard.
Cutesy 2D kind of platforming.
Weird.
Yep.
You keep going. I'm just going to check that. Yeah, definitely got that on the Vita, buddy.
There you go.
There you go.
That's out on everything else this week.
Yeah, weird. I don't know why they did that.
Nope.
Strange.
We got Turmoil, which is out on the PC. This is a tongue-in-cheek strategy sim where you build an oil drilling empire in the 1800s. It looks really cool. And it's one of these games that they've clearly absolutely nailed an art style and stuck with it because it looks beautiful and really well put together. So if you're on the PC and you fancy a bit of strategizing, then that could be worth a look. We have Carmageddon Max Damage. This is the hotly anticipated follow-up to the Death Race 3000, which I used to love the old Carmageddon games, I have to say, especially Carmageddon 2. This is Max Damage. It is finally out on Xbox One and PS4. I saw this at Rezzed and it looked toilet. It's reviewed very poorly on the PC. Lots of issues with frame rate, especially, and texture popping and all sorts. And that was on the PC, so God knows.
It's going to be even worse, surely.
You would presume so, unless they've absolutely pulled it out their asses. Then this is one to avoid. But I will be waiting with bated breath the reviews of this game because it was always a huge favorite of mine, Carmageddon. And as we mentioned a few podcasts ago, you can actually download the full version of that original game for Android and tablet now. So get stuck into that if you haven't already. It's very fun, stupid racing game where you just drive over people and try and wreck other cars.
Always fun.
Always. We have Dangerous Golf out on the Xbox One, PS4 and PC. This is golf, but it's basically carnage mode from Burnout, which we discussed a little while ago. So you take control of the ball, you go into slow-mo, and you try and wreck like a house or a village or whatever you like.
A toilet.
It's pretty stupid, but in a good way. And
I was quite excited about this. After watching it, I'm not so excited about it. It doesn't look that great.
I liked the concept, but when I watched the video, I was like, okay, that's literally what that is. That is literally just carnage mode from Burnout. And whether or not that makes for a compelling game over more than like an hour, I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I don't think. I don't know. I thought that it would have like more crazy golf aspects to it, maybe, or some sort of thing like that. But it's literally just like smash everything as much as you can, and then get it in the hole with a trick shot, and that is it.
Yeah, the whole golf thing's quite misleading there, isn't it? To be honest.
Yes, it's not golf at all, really.
It'll depend on price point and game modes and that sort of thing. But
true.
Either way. That is out this week, and finally out this week we have Hard Reset Redux on the Xbox One, PS4 and PC. This is a remaster of the 2011 Cyberpunk shooter, and it looks really cool. It's got sort of 7s and 8s kind of review scores, that original game. Really nice art style, and looks like a lovely remaster running at sort of full 60 with lovely new textures and stuff. Might be worth a look.
Cool, buddy, and that's out this week.
It sure is.
Nice.
And now it's time for the JfG Top 5.
Just for Gamers Top 5.
So what's the top five this week, buddy?
Well, I've gone kind of semi-serious here, although you'll notice not for the entirety. But with E3 fast approaching, I thought it might be worth looking at things that would make E3 great, things we're hoping for. I've asked a few of our listeners this week, and they've come back in saying what they are expecting to see and what they're hoping to see. But this is an E3 top 5, and it is the top 5 things that would make E3 great.
Ooh. And it's under your chairs.
Indeed, buddy. So number 1 on my list... a debut console from a new player.
Fuck, that would be mental.
Just imagine.
Just be like, hey, check this shit out. Boom.
And I was trying to think who would make a console, who would jump in and try and compete with all the big guns. Like, it would be so unheard of at this point in time that someone would jump into the console market.
Samsung.
Well, it would probably be one of these big giants. It would probably be someone like Samsung or... I mean, that's certainly more likely than like Sega, to be honest, at this point. But then I was thinking, what about like EA? What about one of these big publishers? What if their next step could be to design a console that meant that their games were like first party,
That would be... retarded for them, surely, if EA were like, yeah, no, you can only play FIFA on the EA.
No, you'd still have it wide range, but you could build the console so that it was perfect for your development teams. Some of these publishers have got like 25 studios working for them. If they could design a console specifically for their development teams so that their games looked the best, like, that'd be exciting. There's no way it'll happen, but
like, someone could come out with like a streaming console. I mean, not looking at like hardware, like a beast of a machine, but come out and be like, hey, look, we've made this box and you can stream all these fantastic games perfectly. I mean, that would be a big old game changer.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
With like EA access on it or something.
Yeah. But just, it work. Like
either
PlayStation
way,
now, but better.
Hugely unrealistic, but I would love it if some new player waded into the console markets. That's my number 1.
Yeah. Was it Ouya?
That went well.
Yeah, it went really well, buddy.
Cautionary tale there. Number 2, Project Gotham 5.
That would be nice.
People are starting to understand who wrote the list.
On Xbox One, I'm guessing.
Well, it would be the final nail in the coffin for me, buddy. I'd be off to pick up my Xbox from the store.
Fair dues.
Personal one to me, but it's my favourite racing game of all time. If a new one was released, I would buy the console so that I could play it.
Yeah.
Number 3, PlayStation backwards compatibility.
Never going to happen, but yes, that would be lovely. It'd be very, very good.
That'd be amazing if they finally, even if they didn't ditch PS Now, but just made it so that if you owned a game, then you could play that game for free.
Yeah, like if you put
PS
the disc in, or I don't know why putting the disc in, that'd be pointless because you could just play the game. Yeah, I don't know.
No,
yeah, like
if
a
you put the
digital
disc
version.
in to verify the license and then it worked on PS Now, or if you had it on your Sony account already or whatever.
Yeah, like a digital version of it.
Then you could stream it off PS Now for free.
That'd be nice.
It would be really
Anything
nice.
Like
it would also
better.
It would reward all the people who've been clicking on that PS3 game through PS Plus all this time as well.
Yes, I can't wait.
The fourth thing that would make E3 great, a Phil motherfucking Spencer fashion show where he'd parade down a catwalk before us, showing off every single t-shirt stroke suit jacket combo in his wardrobe for hours.
I mean, I'd watch all of that.
Just imagine it. You could have the Cortana voice from Windows, like, commentating. They'd be like,
that would work.
And now Phil is wearing the Gears of War 3 t-shirt with a wonderful slate suit combo from... Just, it'd be perfect.
And he's properly, like, mincing about.
Oh, yeah. He's doing the whole, like, walking away and then looking back around with a bit of a blue steel and shit.
Nice.
You can do it, Phil. We believe in you.
Yeah, definitely. I'd watch that.
And my fifth thing that would make E3 great, buddy, I've been thinking about this quite a lot, actually, since both of the games started their preamble into marketing campaigns. A genuinely exciting new FIFA game.
Like, I don't know what that would look like, buddy.
I don't know. We are massive football fans. We've moved over to PES. FIFA's been just ticking over, iterating on the same game engine for some time now. It's all felt a little bit stale. And imagine if EA came out for their conference this E3 and showed off a new engine and all new ideas, and it was fresh and it was exciting. That would be an absolutely massive game changer. And that would make E3 great for me.
That would be... Yeah, I'd be happy with that as well. Definitely.
And then we could maybe go back to a game with a menu system that wasn't designed by a chimp. That'd be cool.
Maybe. Yeah, I'd like that. That'd be very good.
So there you go. That's my top 5 things that would make E3 great. Certainly number 4 would be my choice if I had to pick one.
Yeah, I'd say that would be my top choice.
Come on, Phil.
You can do it.
And now it's time for Many Moons Ago.
Many moons ago.
So I'm going to do something that you'll find out in the next section. It would make sense, but if this game was around 20 years ago, it would look something like this. It'll make sense later.
Okay.
So where are we going back to, buddy?
This week we are going back to the 1st of June 2004, which saw the release of The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay.
That was a good game, wasn't it?
Yes, why? How? What?
Well, yeah, valid.
I remember this being announced and presumed, as you do in 2004, that this movie game tie-in was going to be terrible, and then I found out that it was being made by Vin Diesel. He was funding a new studio to make a game. This studio was called Starbreeze Interactive, and they were going to make a Chronicles of Riddick game. And with that information, as well as what I already had in my head, I knew this would be terrible. Absolutely
be
awful.
Yeah.
And then it came out and it was really good.
It was really, really good. The stealth mechanics were fucking awesome.
Absolutely out of this world, and a lot of the innovation in it is still being used today. How much of this game did you play, buddy, back in the day? And what console did you play it on? Because I think it came out...
I don't know. I want to say I played it on PC.
Yeah, it came out about 6 months later on PC. It originally launched on the original Xbox, which I know that you had, but I don't remember you having this game on it.
I really think that I played this game on the PC. I'm racking my brains about it, and yeah, I'm gonna say I played it on PC with mouse and keyboard. Yeah, I did. I'm sure I did. But yeah, I played a lot of this game. It was just loads of fun. But yeah, it was just, for me, it was like the stealth mechanics and like the shadows or whatever it is. Like, it was just fucking awesome. So good.
Yeah, we were right in sort of Splinter Cell territory at the time, and I would argue that this actually did it better. And it was really interesting. The story was really good as well. Obviously, it was, it was high budget. They really spent the money, and obviously it was acted. Well, I was going to say, I quite like Vin Diesel. I think that's a stretch, to be honest, but yeah, it was solid, and it was Riddick. And I've always been a huge fan of the Riddick movies, if I'm honest. They've always been a bit of a guilty pleasure, especially the Chronicles of Riddick. That last
one wasn't great.
It wasn't great. It was just like a remake of Pitch Black, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a cool game, and it spawned a sort of add-on pack, Assault on Dark Athena, and...
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to go back and play this again now, to be honest, because at the time it was graphically, it was lovely, and this is this Goldilocks zone, if you remember, buddy, back in 2004 when I just bought that meaty graphics card.
Yep, I remember.
And I've got a real soft spot for a lot of graphically intensive games that came out around this time.
Yeah.
So it does hold a bit of a special place in my heart. But yeah, it was just... It was a cool game, and it kind of surprised everyone in that I think everyone thought it was going to be terrible, and it ended up reviewing very well.
Yeah, it was a surprise. That's what it was. A good surprise, buddy, I would say.
And of course, this was remastered and re-released later on the on the newer consoles, on the 360. I remember it coming out on, and they'd actually used the engine and remastered and made it a new chapter in Assault on Dark Athena. But a lot of people kind of bought that for Butcher Bay, which was a far superior product. And actually, Dark Athena kind of only picked up sort of 6s and 7s and wasn't really to everyone's taste. Whether people had kind of moved on from the Riddick universe by that point or not, I'm not sure. But yeah.
Do you remember, God knows how many months ago it was, in the podcast we were saying, like, for some reason, I was in Game Shop and I was advising a mum on a game.
Yes.
And what it was, like, she asked the question, and that was the question. Does this come, like, she picked up Dark Athena and she was like, has this got, like, the original Riddick game on it, and the obviously the game clerk or whatever didn't know, and I was like, yeah, it has, don't worry. But yeah, it was just weird, like I hadn't remembered what it was until this very moment, buddy, that we mentioned that. But yeah, nice. It's a cracking game. Old Butcher Bay, really good.
Gibbons, buddy. That was the 1st of June 2004, which saw the release of the Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay on the original Xbox. And now it's time for the JfG quiz.
JfG quiz. JfG quiz. Jingle. It's beautiful. So this week, buddy, seeing as Ubisoft have been in the news, they've been in other things like the Fonzes and Phoenixes, and, we've just, they're about at the moment. I'm going to have a quiz about Ubisoft, buddy.
Ooh.
So I hope you know your French knowledge.
Me too.
That's where we're going. So, these are all questions about Ubisoft and their franchises and things like that. So, obviously, the first question I'm going to go for is, when was Ubisoft founded, buddy? I mean, I did hint at this earlier, so 1985, 1986, or 1987, buddy?
I believe you said 20 years. I'll stick with that. 86.
That doesn't make... That's 30 years, but yeah, close enough. So you're going for 86.
Yes, my maths is completely off. I remember you saying a round number.
It was a round number, and yes, you are correct, buddy. It was 1986. Nice. I slipped it in there for you because I was like, that is a shit question.
Thank you.
So yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is kind of a reference to what I said in the previous section. At E3 2011, Ubisoft press conference was hosted by a massive retard called Mr. Caffeine. But what did he do to completely balls it up for Ubisoft? Was it A stupid, repeated back-in-time joke and sound? Was it B, terrible wee and dick jokes? Was it C, looking and acting like he's off his tits on cocaine? Or was it D, all of the above?
And in my research for the people fucking it at E3 quiz, I was unfortunate enough to relive the Mr. Caffeine press conference, and I can categorically say it is definitely all of the above.
It is definitely all of the above. That guy was weird as fuck,
what
buddy.
a tool.
Indeed. Okay, question 3. Ubisoft was founded by the Guillemot brothers. I think that's how you say it. I still don't know. Guillemot?
It's Guillemot in English and Guillermo in French.
Guillemot. There you go. Brothers. But how many are there? Is it 2, 4, or 5?
I don't know the answer to this, despite the fact that I actually saw 30,000 breeding pairs of guillemots on my boat trip last week. But none of them told me how many brothers founded Ubisoft. I just have to take a punt. And as is often the case with this, buddy, I'll go for the middle one. I'll take 4.
See, I thought you'd go for that. So, unfortunately, it was 5, buddy.
Ooh.
I did not know this. There was some interesting fact. Yeah, there's 5 of them, and I think they're all still part of it now. Obviously, Yu's Guillemot is like top brass, and the others are, just below him. But yeah, interesting.
Quite a legacy they've got there.
Oh, Gibbons, buddy. I think they're like 3rd or they were 3rd in the games rankings or some kind of chart. I can't remember. I'd read stuff. I've forgotten it by now though.
Nice.
Question number 4. There are, Wikipedia says 5, but I know there's 6 Tom Clancy game series. Can you name them all, buddy?
Oh, okay. Rainbow Six.
Yes.
Splinter Cell.
Yes.
Tom Clancy's The Division.
Yes.
Tom Clancy's...
There's another one that we played a lot of on the 360.
Ghost Recon.
Yes, nice. 2 more, buddy. These ones we did not play. Funk loved one of these. It has aeroplanes in.
Hawks.
Nice. And the last one, buddy. Some sort of strategy game where you could use your voice.
Oh, what the fuck was that called? That looked terrible. Oh. No, I'm not going to get the name of that, but I know.
You know the game, though, don't you?
Yeah.
It was End War, buddy.
End War, that's right.
Indeed. But yeah, there you go. So I'd on Wiki, it didn't class The Division as a game, but I don't know if it had been updated or not. So I was like, I'm going to put that in because it has Tom Clancy's name in it.
I mean, it probably shouldn't because he didn't write The Division, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's Tom Clancy's The Division, so it counts.
Gibbons. Okay. Final question. How many Rainbow Six Vegas 2 multiplayer maps can you name? Point for each of them, buddy.
I'm going to be shit at this. The villa.
Nailed it. That's one.
Is train yard one?
Train yard. Yes, train yard.
And am I allowed Calypso Casino?
Yes, it's one of the downloadable maps. I'll take it.
Okay. For fucking theatre.
Yes, theatre. Nice. That's 4. Think of the places
Convention
where we've
centre.
Yes, that was a big one. We used to play that a lot.
Yeah.
Yep, convention centre. Nice.
Campus?
It is not on my list.
University? That was 1.
That was like, yeah, the library one or whatever it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was on Rainbow Six Vegas 1, buddy. I don't know why I said 1, just Vegas. Think about when you shoot people, what are there that you what them?
Kill house.
Yes, nice.
Thank you.
Another, if you kill someone, you've what to them? You've made them dead.
Murder Town.
There's Murder Town, buddy.
Your clues are really good.
I would also accept Murder Town Dark. You got any more left in you, buddy? Because you've got 8. I mean, that's pretty damn good.
How many are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 16. So you got half of them. Shit, there's loads.
Fucking hell, yeah. No, we should stop here because it's like pulling teeth for the listeners. But yeah, thank you for all your help.
It's cool. Kill House, Train Yard, Villa, Theatre, 3 Kingdoms Casino.
Oh, yeah.
Oil Refinery, Import-Export, Close Quarters Combat or whatever it's, CQB Training, and also CQB Training Dark.
Yep.
Vegas Junkyard, Convention Centre, Presidio, was it? I can't say that word. Presidio.
Oh, Presidio or something like that.
That one, whatever it is. Murder Town, Streets, which was the exclusive Ubisoft exclusive content. Calypso Casino, Murder Town Dark, and yeah, like I said, Close Quarters Dark.
I want to play that game again.
I know, buddy. Only if we had Xbox Ones would be all right. So you got 8, 9, 10. 10?
Sort
10 out of 5,
you
buddy.
helped me a great deal, but yeah, I think so.
Nicely done, B.
Cool quiz, buddy.
Yeah, a bit of Ubisoft knowledge coming at you.
Gibbons, nicely done.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And now it's time for Fuckwit Corner.
Fuckwit Corner with Funk. Fuckwit Corner with Funk. He's got some questions. Funk.
Has he got any questions, buddy?
I actually asked Funk, as well as PJ, and we'll get on to him later on, but I asked Funk, with E3 in mind, what he was looking forward to at E3, and he said, I'm not that fussed about it, really. Feel like we got a decent game across the genres we play and plenty of single player to get on with. Not sure they've got anything that the Funk needs. He also says he's still not into VR, which he thinks will feature heavily. He reckons got to be seen to be believed. And
yeah, I agree with that.
He would like a Magic the Gathering for PS4 announcement. So,
ooh, he loves his card games, this one.
He does. He's right,
Has he looked at the Elder Scrolls card game? I can't remember what it's called. Is it Legends or something?
I don't know. Maybe he will now you've said that.
I don't know if it's coming out on consoles or what it's out on, but I read something about that the other week, and it reminded me that was a thing. I don't know if it's out or not. I'll find out for him if he wants.
Either way, Funk's right. We've got a solid game in every genre.
I've got so many games.
It's true.
It's ridiculous.
And with Overwatch having just come out as well, like we're looking pretty well set up in pretty much every department other than strategy at the moment. So
yeah.
I think some people's excitement of E3 has been eroded away somewhat by how complex and convoluted the console market seems to have become.
Yeah, true.
It makes it hard to be excited about anything because it's hard to know where to put your money down anymore to a degree. So that's a bit of a problem. But yeah, I can see why Magic the Gathering might be something a little bit interesting. But yeah, he's not asked. So I suppose we will move on, buddy.
Gibbons, B.
Every week, we end the show with questions and comments sent in by you. If you've got anything for us, just pop an email to the jfgpodcast@gmail.com or contact us on Facebook, Twitter, or at justforgamers.co.uk. And now it's time for JfG correspondence.
So what's the happy haps, buddy? What's the word on the street?
Okay, firstly, I'm at pains to inform you. I was told it's a matter of life or death that I let you know. Friend of the podcast, Dan, listens every week, often when he's out running or cycling or whatever, and he's a huge fan of patio chat. Always looking forward to patio chat. He is, buddy.
We didn't do it this week, buddy.
We didn't. And
shit.
Sometimes it's important to keep people guessing, keep them on their toes. And I look forward to a massive update in next week's podcast. But the problem that Dan has with patio chat, specifically the patio chat jingle.
What? What have I done?
Is this patio all the time line.
Yeah? What's wrong with it?
It hurts his face to hear you say that, buddy, when, as he so eloquently put it, you could have fucking said, paving the way.
Ah. Nice, buddy. I like it, mate.
He said he was out running the other day, and when the patio chat jingle came on and you said patio all the time, he said aloud, missed opportunity.
Paving the way. Okay, I'll try and change that for next time the patio chat jingle is on.
Nice.
That's thank you. I will definitely do that. See, like, you know, I don't have much time to come up with these things. It's literally I just go hit record and I'm like, I'll say something over the top of this and that is done.
I'm the
and
same.
It's set in stone for life.
When I've done jingles
think about
before.
this shit, I'm just like, yeah, patio all the time.
Just hit
like, yeah, that sounds good.
Just hit the button and spaz into a microphone and go, that'll do. That's how I've been the way here.
It's like Ash's news favourite things of the week. I say Ash's news favourite thing of the week, and I was like, that's fine.
Yep.
I'm not editing that now.
Hell no.
Leave it. I've been on Twitter this week, obviously, because you have been away, and JJ has, when I was chatting to him, he was talking to me about his customization of trolls, not actual, weird trolls like controllers. That would make more sense in this gaming podcast. I don't know why I need to tell you that, but yeah. So he customized controllers and puts like little chipboards in there to add a couple of extra buttons. Now he said it's not cheating, but I don't know. It sounds a bit dodgy.
Controversial.
I know. Well, he says he doesn't use it for like auto fire and stuff like that. It's just like for like quick swapping of guns. And I'm like, okay, I can see what he's saying.
He's just correcting Sony's misdemeanors there, if anything.
Exactly. That's what he's doing. Good point. So yeah, he sent in a picture of these trolls, and I was very jealous, and it made me think, hey, might have to make some kind of JfG decal. So I've been busy working on that. So You might get something in the post in the next couple of weeks, buddy. Little treat for you.
Ooh.
Yeah, keep an eye out. And maybe one lucky listener could win another one if I feel generous enough to buy one more and post it out. We'll see.
Hooch is crazy.
We could make some kind of competition for it. I don't know. We'll spitball this after the show.
Yeah, I like the sound of this. I like the sound of where this is going.
You could have your own JfG custom decal on your troll.
Very special indeed.
Also to that, he sent in a picture of him listening to the podcast, playing Uncharted and enjoying some beers. That's the way to do it, buddy.
That's the way to listen. It really is.
Exactly. How do you guys listen to it? Send us your pictures on Twitter, Facebook, wherever the fuck you want. Who cares?
So we've got someone who listens whilst enjoying a beer and some Uncharted. We've got someone who listens whilst virtual fishing. We're kind of getting a bit of a picture of the listener base here, buddy. By the way, I did... I popped onto Twitter while I was on holiday and I did see those pictures, and those trolls were pretty fucking special. I agree.
Pretty special, aren't they?
Very nice too.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much for that, JJ. So as well as asking Funk about E3 this week, buddy, I also asked PJ what he expected to see there and also what he wanted to see there. Unfortunately, the two things tend not to correlate very often, so
it's true.
But what can you do? But PJ said he thinks that you'll see a ton of VR minigames.
Yes.
And he didn't really say whether he was interested in that or not. I think he's kind of still on the fence rather than Funk.
Yeah.
I think, well, to be fair, Funk is just saying, like, I haven't experienced it, so I don't get what the fuss is all about, and I just want some proper
It's like anal
games.
sex, buddy. I haven't tried it, so I don't know if I like it or not.
It's an interesting analogy there, buddy. I'm willing to go along with that. So, what PJ wants from E3 is an Elder Scrolls announcement, and I think we can both get on board with that one.
Yes, I'd like that. That'd be awesome. Be very cool.
Or even better, says PJ, Sony could confirm that the PS 4.5 was just a hoax. That would be sweet.
That would be a horrific hoax. Like, why would they do that? It's just not a good idea. But yes, it would be nice if they just came out and was like, no, actually, we've decided we're not going to do that. We're going to get 2 more years and then fuck me. You just wait and see what monstrosity is coming out of Sony.
Indeed. Yep. Totally agree, PJ. Thanks very much for that. And seeing as we're heading towards E3 at some sort of alarming pace, we'd love to hear from you on that topic. What do you want to see at E3? What do you think the reality will be? What games are you excited for? Are you planning on watching the conferences? All of these things would be very interesting to find out what our listeners are planning on doing over that kind of festive period, if you will, buddy. So, yeah, get stuck in.
Definitely. Cool.
Send us your messages. Let us know what you're doing, and we'll read you out next week.
Kibbins, B.
And thanks everyone who wrote in this week. So I think that'll about do us, buddy, for episode 61 of the podcast. Racking them up. It's been pretty solid.
Going. Gibbons, buddy. It's been a nice one. It's quite late now, though. Not going to lie.
It is. We've done pretty well, though. We've caned through, and it's been kind of weird. The last time I spoke to you was when we were recording episode 60. It's it's really
very
odd.
Strange. It's been a tough week, buddy, without you. But I've got through it.
Nice, buddy. I'm not going anywhere.
I say
for a
week,
while.
I mean 8 days.
It's too long. I don't remember the last time I didn't play any video games for over a week. It's been horrifying, to be honest.
I don't think I could do it. Like, luckily, I've got my Vita to take with me whenever I disappear.
It made me feel like I need to investigate some sort of portable for future
Can't you
travels.
just steal the missus's?
I could do, but it's not the same as having your own.
It's true. It's not the same.
Get some sort of 3DS, buddy.
E3 this year. PS Vita 2.
I mean, you'd be a brave man to make that prediction.
It's going to happen now, mate. I've said it.
I'm worried that it will now you've said it. Sony are going to go under because of you. They have to follow through on that.
Yes, it's the law. Oh, dear. Classic.
Nice. Well, with that, on this particularly late hour of Wednesday evening, buddies, I think we will say goodbye. Thanks very much for listening. You can find us at www.justforgamers.co.uk. We're on Facebook /the JfG podcast. Our Twitter, or Twittle, as I said last week, handle.
That was special.
Is at the JfG podcast. We're also on SoundCloud /JustForGamers. You can find us on YouTube. Just search the JfG podcast on there. We're on Stitcher. You can find us on PlayStation as well. Come and join the JfG podcast PlayStation community. And we're also on Google+, if that is how you choose to live your life. Thanks so much for listening. I have been Alex. He has been Ash.
Goodbye.
And until next week, buddies, have a cracking one. We will catch you next time. Goodbye. You've been listening to the JfG podcast with Ash and me, Alex. To find out more, head to www.justforgamers.co.uk, Facebook /the JfG podcast, or Twitter, where we are at the JfG podcast. Episodes go live every Sunday, and if you could pop onto iTunes and write us a quick review, we would love every inch of you, even if you got old and fat. Thanks so much for listening, and we will catch you next time.